Welcome to the Dr. Huber Show. Whether you're a patient trying to take ownership of your health or a physician who wants to lead with excellence, this show is for you. Each episode will dive into the heart of what matters most, strengthening the patient-physician relationship, cutting through the noise of modern wellness culture, and advocating for better systems, better standards, and better care. Your host, Dr. Trevor Huber, is a board-certified primary care physician and advocate for modern, patient-centered medicine. This podcast is meant to rebuild trust between patients and providers. Let's dive in.
The next generation primary care office has to be one that takes into account functional medicine, longevity medicine, HRT therapy, peptide therapy, advanced cancer screening diagnostics. We cannot continue to just think about what insurance is willing to pay for and only provide that to our patients. Our patients are desperately looking for something else, and we have to understand that. And we were all taught for way too long of only doing certain things that the insurance was recommending and that different societies would recommend. And unfortunately, over a certain period of time, we've all kind of gotten out of advocating for our patients and listening to our patients and listening to what they're looking for. We've gotten to a certain point now where we have advanced diagnostics, advanced cancer screenings, advanced cardiovascular screenings that insurance still refuses to cover, that doctors still are not offering based off of insurances refusing to cover them, yet they're great tests, and they're really not even that expensive. That's what primary care used to be about. Primary care used to be about a relationship between a patient and a physician, and that physician bringing all of their knowledge and expertise and the most cutting edge technology of their day to that patient to help them make the right decisions. And we are in a place now where primary care doesn't provide that. Primary care used to provide that in the past. And I'm telling you, that's why all of these different functional medicine models, longevity health models, pre-novo scans, all of these things came out of the patients looking for answers, wanting more out of their relationship with their primary care doctor. And I would tell you that is the reason why so many of these models now have run their time. The patients have tried them, and most of the time they have found it to be lacking, that it's not providing what they really want. But they know the traditional primary care model also was not serving their needs. The concierge model came out of this. And at the same time, many patients tried the concierge model, thinking this is what we're going to use to be the answer to better health care, to more enjoyable days and longer lifespan. And even that was not able to really answer the question of what is the best medicine for our patients, most cutting edge medicine, and how do we bring it to our patients. That's why we have this type of hybrid model that we specialize in, that we leverage all of the resources that we have of being a large primary care practice, all of the resources of functional medicine, integrative medicine, longevity health, to be able to make that accessible to as many patients as possible, and in as many different modalities that patients live in. Wearable devices are a massive breakthrough in healthcare that nobody's using, because from the medical side, the only ones that are actually going to use that are going to be primary care physicians. But most primary care physicians are not inside of systems that really value it. That's why we have to help create a new system that's going to start taking this data and helping to bring better outcomes to our patients. And the patients are demanding it. They're ready for it. That's why we've taken this approach of offering HRT therapy, peptide therapy, weight loss GLP-1 compounded medication therapy, advanced cancer screenings, thinking outside the box on doing diagnostic images to be able to help better screen for cancer and cardiovascular disease before it causes you problems. That's the secret sauce. How do I help you live to 120 years old as a patient, and not only live to 120, but have quality years to 120? And it's really not a piecemeal approach, and that is the system right now in all of healthcare. It is, well, for big chronic diseases that you need medications for, go see your medical doctor. But if you're wanting to think about more longevity health, early cancer diagnostics, genetic therapy, go to a longevity specialist. If you're thinking about more supplements and vitamins, go to a naturopath, a homeopath. And if you're thinking about doing peptide therapy, HR therapy, oh, well, then go to a hormone specialist. All of these different specialties only treat what they see day in and day out. And really, it's kind of lazy medicine, because that's easy for me to do. If I do the same thing every single day, it's not very challenging. And it really isn't meeting the patient where they are at. A patient's health is very complex. It's very complicated. There are a lot of factors that go into it. There's multiple organ systems. There are environmental factors. There are nutritional factors. There are exercise factors. So it really takes a very astute primary care clinician who specializes in a comprehensive medical approach to be able to bring the best therapies and recommendations to our patients. Being proactive versus reactive. Nutrition is huge. We eat way too many processed foods. We need to get away from these processed foods. We need to be going back to more natural foods and foods that aren't pumped with hormones and antibiotics from a very large industrial complex, but are more organic and more holistic. We should not be getting all of our protein through protein bars and protein shakes. It's so much better to have a lean piece of chicken or turkey or a healthy lean piece of beef. Focus on the fruits, focus on the vegetables. Think about your sleep hygiene and how that affects how you are aging and your mental health, how your mental health affects the hormones that you have fluctuating throughout the day, how those hormones and any type of imbalances may also be affecting your mental and physical health. How can we optimize peptide therapies? How can we use these new peptide therapies to help be tools to have more control and discipline over our diet and over our exercise so that we are eating cleaner? There is no one magic pill. There's no one magic test. It really takes a relationship between a primary care physician who really cares and is willing to go outside of the typical medical approach to start giving better health care to their patients and to our patients. That is how we have a long life that we enjoy. Optimizing your health, optimizing how you feel every day. And if you need supplements, we do that. If you need peptide therapy, hormone therapy, weight loss therapy, pills, injections, creams, whatever it may be, we do that as well. And we also don't do it in a vacuum. We think about possible complications, possible cardiovascular risk, possible cancer risk, and we roll that into the comprehensive program that is tailor-made for each patient. And we use the daily analytics of wearable devices and how that is giving us insight into a patient's daily health. The concierge model of seeing a patient for an hour once a year and then hoping they never see you again so that you get the monthly revenue stream without having to do the work is not the best for healthcare. And that's ultimately why many of the patients have left the concierge model. It's more about more frequent touch points. It's more about leveraging technology to be able to get better insights. It's taking AI to help us go through all of this data, but also have astute physicians teaching AI what matters and what doesn't matter, what we should listen to, what should cause us to bring you into the office today as soon as possible. It's improving access not just to medical care, it's improving access to the medical care that has a close relationship to you, the patient. So it really has to be a system approach. You have to have an entire system set up to support it. All of the systems right now are supporting different pockets of different solutions that patients are looking for. And the reason why patients keep jumping from one product and one system to the other is because nothing is really answering their questions and addressing their concerns. The only system that is able to do that is a traditional comprehensive primary care system where your physician that you have a personal relationship with is able to guide you through 95% of all of your healthcare needs. And whenever I say healthcare needs, I don't just mean medications and pills and shots. I mean dietary, I mean nutrition, I mean mental health, physical health, preventing cancers, screening for cancers, bringing the best cancer diagnostic test to your fingertips to be able to use, screening for cardiovascular disease so that we find it early and intervene before you have a heart attack. That's how you make it to 120. You make it to 120 by leveraging all of the new genetic testing and genetic therapy and gene therapy, along with your dietary needs and nutritional needs and exercise needs, hormone balances, peptide balances. All of these things matter. And putting that all together is what allows you to see not only your grandkids, but your great-grandkids have a fantastic life. That's the secret sauce. It is not common and it is not easy. It is very difficult to put something like that together, but it is absolutely worth the struggle and the hard work to build that. Because ultimately, that's what's going to lead to us having long lives that are filled with happiness and joy and purpose. And that's what we should be doing as primary care doctors. That ultimately is what we're trying to provide.
Thank you so much for pulling up a seat with us today on the Dr. Huber Show. We can't change healthcare without your support, so make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and leave us a 5-star review so we can continue to bring the content you love from your favorite doctor.